And it took me about a month or so to realize that it would be cool if I started taping myself while I was smoking my bong, and then talking about what was ever on my mind as I was smoking the bong, and then coughing, and then dealing with the cough by drinking something, or doing the reefer raspberry, which is that's something that I do often while I'm smoking my bong. And that's only when I have a strong hit that's going to make me cough. And I do that weird thing is because if I do that weird thing, that reefer raspberry, it's a raspberry, but it's just a little earthier, and it vibrates your whole throat, and it moves moisture around in your throat and in your mouth, and it moves air through. And I don't know what else it does, but you could have like the worst cough about to happen. Well, not the worst. I'm not talking about like a 9 or a 10 on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm talking about maybe even an 8 though, like a really nasty cough that if you don't have something to drink like really soon, is going to last like a 3 or 4 minute period of nonstop coughing. Just one of those really gnarly coughs that it's just so rough, and you never feel relief. After coughing and coughing and coughing and it not stopping, and your throat getting sore, and then you're drinking, maybe even a smoothie, something nice and thick, or maybe you're having peanut butter, with your slices of fresh cut apple, and you're dipping it into this organic peanut butter, and it's just so creamy and so soothing. And it's kind of, you're chewing it slowly and letting the juices flow down into your throat, and that brings the relief, and it helps get rid of the cough. So that's just, you have to know a couple tricks, and be prepared to put them into action instantly. I mean, have your apple slices cut already, and have them on the plate, and have them look nice, and videotape yourself doing this so you have content for your channel. And as a matter of fact, I would love it if my friends out there were to do that. And I can't do it right now because I'm not allowed to smoke. I have a crap bong with me. I have the cheapest bong I own. I just threw it in my briefcase thinking that I might, because I had a bunch of bud with me. And I didn't know where I was going to end up, and I just wanted to have my pot with me just in case I needed it. And well, you know what? It's like, it wouldn't have done anything for me because I'm so broken and so wrecked. But what's happened for me, and the reason I feel so lifted, and I just started to feel really bad just remembering that my life is effed. But at the same time, every time I remember that my life is effed, I also tell myself instantly, well, wait a minute, dude, your life has been effed for the past 15 years, but your life has now changed. And it might take a couple weeks or maybe even a month or two for you to even feel or notice any of the change, unless the company is willing to settle quickly. To avoid like what could potentially might even be a $10 million lawsuit or more, because I just have an insane amount of proof, several witnesses, including one neighbor, including 2 really good friends, including a roommate and a good friend of mine for close to 40 years, including my fiance and the love of my life, who lived under the same horrible conditions as I had been living under. And it's not my fault that these horrible conditions happened, and I didn't invite her to be part of these horrible issues. It's and the horrible issues hadn't totally destroyed me yet. They were just starting to chip away at me for years and years and years, making me weaker and weaker, making my ability to live my life and work, my system, my super OCD system. And that's what I was always trying to explain to Sterling. And maybe Sterling will watch a few of my videos here, and he'll finally understand why a person can be so broken, that there's no medicine that's going to help them. And there's no jive talk, everything's going to be okay that's going to help them. The only thing that's going to help them is having the problem that's been killing them stopped and fixed as quickly as possible, and then additionally making reparations for a lot of the damage that's been done. And then the person might have a chance, maybe within a year or 2 or 3, of maybe getting half their happiness back, half their life back. And even if I were to get a $2 or $3 million settlement, I'm not going to complain about that at all, for God's sakes. But that wouldn't be enough to make up for what I've lost, not even close. I mean, we're talking. We could be talking at least $1 million of potential income and assets and cash and things, just material things that have been lost in the last 15 years as a result of all the terrible things they did, and all the bonus expenses that I had to pay that I should have never had to pay, and all the additional monies that were lost by my brother being unfairly evicted, and it's just, there's so many layers and so many levels and decisions that I had to make that I wouldn't have made otherwise, that financially, have hurt me as much as one of them maybe $80,000. Just one thing, one decision I would have never made in 1 billion years. And it's the worst thing to me, besides losing my brother and my fiance for the last, I should say the last 15 years. Because the place has been so bad from the first year, and the issues have been so nonstop, starting from the second year, and they've just been stacked upon each other over and over and over, more items and more issues, and none of the items being taken care of, none of the items even being addressed, me being 100% ignored. Yet there's a new thing added on top of another new thing, added on top of another new thing, and I'm just being crushed and so broken and so scrambled that I'm no longer even able to live by my super OCD system, which has always defined me as a person. But all that breaking, basically led to me just falling apart, and that's my story, known as Decade of Destruction. I'll say it one more time. You can find it on AliveAgain420.com. Click on the Pod Cave on the homepage of AliveAgain420.com. Enter the Pod Cave, and then once you're inside the Pod Cave, enter the ugly dimension. You'll find my story, Decade of Destruction, right there. Read it, and then come back to my YouTube channel and also my WeTube channel. Leave comments below. Just let me know that you read it. Because remember, my first 100 subscribers to both channels, when I hit the 1,000 subscriber mark on YouTube and on the WeTube, my first 100 subscribers will each get a $20 gift card of your choice, mailed to you, certified mail, but you of course have to prove that you're an adult, 21 and up, and that you're a legal resident of the United States. It's only open to people that follow those parameters, and send me an email, and are one of the first 100 to subscribe to both my channels on YouTube and on the WeTube, known as AliveAgain420. And don't forget, $20 gift card for spending 5 minutes of your time, and you won't regret it, because there's so many amazing things are going to be happening on this channel in the next 1 year alone. We're going to show and prove to the world that marijuana can save a broken person from literally the brink, the edge of suicide for years and years in a row, the utter brink and edge of depression for even longer, and then suddenly, with just 1 year of understanding and learning how to use cannabis, with no experience, no friends training me, besides a couple friends just throwing a couple tips at me, which were helpful, and I'm thankful for. And I'm also thankful for all my friends on the WeTube, and I want the WeTube and the YouTube to start getting along together. You know what? We can make America great. We can make this country get along better. Republicans and Democrats can become closer if we stop fighting amongst ourselves about bullshit. I mean, YouTube's awesome, but the WeTube's awesome. They're both awesome in their own right. They both have a right to exist. We should get along, and we should shake hands across the aisle and say, you know what? My WeTube friends, I love you as equally as I love my YouTube friends, and I think we should all just be able to get along, and that's all I got to say. I'll see you next time, right here on AliveAgain420. Don't forget my website, AliveAgain420.com. Read my story, and also don't forget Jimmy Kimmel Live. That's the show you got to watch every night on ABC from 11:30 to 12:30, I think. And you know what it's like? That's the thing I miss most about not being in my house anymore. Can't wait to get my home back so I can start watching some Jimmy Kimmel Live and laughing again, being happy again, and finally enjoying marijuana for what it's supposed to do, besides being an amazing medicine. Lift your spirits so much that you feel happy again. I want to feel alive again. I want to feel happy again. And you know what? I think it's going to happen right here as you join me on my journey on a channel unlike anything anyone's ever seen on YouTube or the WeTube, at least in my opinion. And if you think so, a thumbs up or a like would be appreciated. Well, that's all I got to say. Again, peace, love, happiness, and happiness. Stay high, stay cool, stay kind, stay woke. Black Lives Matter. Ain't no joke. Become an anti-racist.